Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys, and today the Mercedes C63 is getting intakes. Yes guys, hit that intro. Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you. So welcome back everybody back to the channel. So if you're new to this channel, please watch the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification, hit all. I am Boost in Motion. I am currently an owner of an Infiniti Q60 right there, but I also have a second car on the channel, my Mercedes C63. So shout out to VRP Speed. They sent me over some goodies with the intake system that I recently purchased from them. I do have an unboxing video, so you guys can check that out above. But pretty much we're going to be replacing the stock air intake system with their aftermarket intakes. Also replacing that OEM heat shield with the heat shield that they provided as an affiliate with the Boost in Motion family. So guys, definitely check below to the VRP website if you do have a Mercedes, because I'm going to continue to grow the Mercedes content. So definitely check that out below. They have a lot of aftermarket parts for the family. So anyways guys, let's jump into this install. Let's go. Step one, guys, with anyone who wants to work on cars, work on a cold engine. Do not drive this car and then pop the hood and go work on it. It's very hot under there. The turbos are right there. They're super hot. The exhaust is right there, so you don't need to burn your hands. Second step, we're gonna need we're gonna use Torx bits. Now these Torx bits is going to be a T25. We're gonna remove these specific bolts, screws right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's same thing on the associated side. Also, my car already has blower valves, so I don't have an install video for it, but mine's are already blocked off. But you would also have to remove some specific hoses that will connect to the intake system, but I don't have those on my car. So just know that you would have to tee those off, or you would have to disconnect those specific hoses. So I don't have that step for this car because I don't have a diverter valve system. Anyways guys, let's jump into it. Let's start removing all of these bolts. Let's go. All right, so now that we have all those bolts, put them down to a side. Now I can't remember, but I believe this pops off. You can pop this off separately, move that to a side over there, and this intake system. This one I believe does not pop off with the nameplate. This is actually a part of it. I think it's a part of it, so you can't pop this one off. But later on we're gonna peel this off or pop this off and put this on the relocator, which is gonna go right here in the middle too. So we'll figure that out later. So the next thing I need you guys to do is remove, start to unloosen these little straps. You can loosen them now if you want, because we're going to take them off. So you could use a regular flathead, or I believe it's a 10mm, if not an 8mm. But if you have a flathead, you could just unscrew this from here, and then we'll move on to the next part. Alright, so now those are unloosened, all 4 of those are unloosened. Now you're going to be able to split the intake system in half. So lift up, and when you lift up, you should be able to do this. See? Now there's going to be a sensor that's connected at the back here. Forgot how to access it. There's like a little clip here. Let me see if I can do it on video. Should be a little clip, or you should be able to pry in or unclip this here. It's not too bad. Right here. See? Let me show you guys. A little clip here. You press it in, and then you'll be able to pop it off here, and then also on that associate side. So anyways, let me fast forward after this part. Alright guys, so this is how it actually should look. Now you should be able to lift up this intake system by hand, and it should just pop right out. I already got this one already out. It's up to you if you want to keep the intake, I would say coupling, or whatever you want to call it, or cone or scoop. Scoop. You can choose to keep this if you really want to, or you can remove it by just pressing this up, and you can remove this whole intake system out. Once this is up and out of the way, the next thing we're going to do is we have to remove these 2 intake couplings. Once we remove these intake couplings, it looks like it might be a little weird to get to, but once we pull that out, we should be able to access it a lot better here. Alright guys, so what we will do now is we're going to pull out these couplings. Once remember the band is unloosened and it has a little ridge here, so it has to be pretty much as much as it can be off, and pull it out. Please be very careful not to break any of this stuff. It's not rubber. It seems like it's hard plastic, so if it cracks, then you're gonna run into, these are probably breather hoses, and yeah, they're PCV crankcase breathers to the PCV valve, so we don't want to mess that up. Anyways, let me see if I can pull this out, and you might just be able to just pull it up, or maybe use a flat head to try to pull it up. So I'll give it a shot. All right, guys, I got it off. What I did was I put the flat head more to inside of this part and started prying the hose from the inside, trying my best to use the other hand and not move this around too much. But this is how it should actually look. Try your best not to break it, make sure there's no cracks and everything. The next one's gonna be a little hard because I see that it's split into two. There's one down there and there's one down there, so I'm gonna try my best to see if I can pry it. But it should be a lot easier after this, because the heat shield is gonna be next. 10mm bolts, and then we could start putting on the couplings and the intake and everything like that. So I'm actually really excited about that. I know when you guys change these air intakes, you can actually leave these be once you go with aftermarket intakes. Just zip tie it and put it somewhere else. So I'm probably gonna take the sensors out and plug them in over there, because I know if you don't put the sensor back in, you probably might get a little DTC or a check engine light code. I'm not too positive, but it shouldn't affect the performance if it's not in the intake system. Anyways, let me see if I get this out, and then we should be good. Success, the intake couplings are off. So the whole stock air intake system is finally off the C63. Take a look. Once again, guys, if you see a little bit of oil in there, don't be worried about that. Also, while you're here, you can take a look at the turbos themselves, and they look pretty good. I don't see any problems. I don't see any broken parts or anything like that, or any broken fins. Looks pretty good. Well, we don't have upgraded turbos here, so at least we know now. And it's so easy to change out these turbos, man. It's so easy to change these out. All right, so these are the intake couplings. You see how it is. So you have the smaller nipple to the larger nipple like that, and then you have the smaller nipple to the larger nipple. Now the bands are going to be marked 2.5 inch, which goes on the smaller part, the taper edge, and also the 3 inch will be like this. So you can have it as an orientation this way or this way. I'm gonna have my bands looking at each other, because I feel like if I put the bands on that side, it might hit against there, or I might put it the other way. I'll figure it out. But anyways, I'm gonna start connecting all the hoses here, so I at least get this part out the way, and then I have to go get a 10mm socket to take off those 4 bolts for the heat shield, and we're really way past halfway there. I'm about 45 minutes into this install, taking my time. Could have been done a lot quicker, a lot faster if I had the tools right in front of me, because, you know, I don't have a garage. I work in the street, so, you know, got to run back in the apartment and grab the parts and everything. I ain't feel like bringing out my whole tool set. Now, I want to talk to you guys about something that I would say in this whole installation I'm really not liking. So shout out to VRP. You're probably going to watch this video and you might make these changes, okay? So you guys provide these bands, right? Now look how these bands really can't fit in there properly. This is a 2.5 inch one, and it's just not really a good place to put this thing to actually stand, right? Reason being is this part right here is too long, takes up too much space. It's very tight. There's not much room over here for the way it would have to sit, the orientation. It's very hard to do that, not much clearance. So I have my own bands here, because, you know, when you're a car guy, you got your own bands. I'm gonna go with my bands and take a look at it. It's gonna take up a lot less room, and it'll be a lot easier to figure things out when I put this on. So I know this is a 2.5 inch band. This one is from a 2 inch to a 3 inch band. So I'm gonna go with my own bands for the inner coupling, and I'm gonna probably use their outer bands because they don't really have any clearance issues. All right, so shout out to VRP. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, at the end of the day, I like to keep things 100. I like to be honest with my community. So VRP, you should definitely change over to these. It'll probably be a lot easier for people to install them with all this stuff in the way. Anyways, let's continue. All right, guys, so I have the intake couplings in. See the bands that I use? Way more room, a lot easier to work with, because these bands suck. I'm sorry. These bands may go on pretty tight, but there's not enough clearance. You're gonna have to go with these bands. They're gonna work a lot better. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this top part right here and put on the proper VRP one. because I don't want to put the intakes on and this be in the way. So let's just briefly do this really quickly. And yep. All right, so we put the bands on. We didn't tighten everything yet. We're gonna start tightening everything. I just want to get the intakes on first to make sure that they on there properly, and then I'm gonna start tightening everything. So yep, let me start tightening these, and then we're gonna move on to the intake piping going in. We took off the heat shield. We didn't use the 10 millimeters. You literally could just pull on that and you don't have to worry about it. I didn't even know. Anyways, but I have to swap over the nuts and everything over to it. Now, another thing I want you guys to know is one pipe is longer than the next. No, I don't mean that to joke around. The shorter pipe goes here because there's less stuff in the way. If you put the shorter pipe here, this engine harness will be in the way. So you have to actually use a longer pipe for the passenger side of the car and the shorter one for the driver's side, just so you guys can know. All right, now everything's not laid down and pushed down all the way yet because I don't know the appropriate clearance yet. This one can go down and then it'll get like right there, but I still want to put the cones on to see what the clearance will be for the hood and everything like that. This side it does have this harness still in the way, so I might have to unbolt this harness or crack it. I would say get rid of some of this plastic so that I can actually lay it down a lot lower, but we're gonna do that. We're not gonna do that yet. We're gonna put the cones on and just see what the clearance looks like. All right, guys, so what we can say right now, I'm gonna bolt this part up and the driver's side is finished. It is perfectly finished. It is nice and flush. It doesn't really have to go much more lower than that. I believe we can still do some modifications to the passenger side. So let me just finish bolting up the driver's side and start cleaning up some of the area because I don't need all these tools out, and start putting some things away. Also, we can't put on the engine cover. We have to put the engine, the turbo cover heat shield last. So we do that last, all right? Because I want everything to look nice together. So let me just start cleaning stuff up and then we'll move on to the next part. All right, guys, so I'm having a couple of clearance issues with the intake. So I popped the 2 zip ties here and I'm gonna try my best to pretty much remove. I can just pretty much cut this off and remove it. I could do that too, but I'm just gonna try to remove from here amount of plastic to like right here pretty much because it's in the way. Can't do nothing about this. It is what it is, but we gotta make some more room. All right, guys, that is it. I finally got the intakes installed and they look really good on the car. So I do want to talk about a couple things again. I did remove this plastic piece so that this can sit a little lower because the cone was still touching the heat shield for the hood. So I would say you guys do have to trim that part there. You do have to remove it. I'm gonna get some black tape to cover that up, to wrap that up, so I don't have the black tape on me right now. The driver's side, no real issues there at all, really, other than what I told you guys earlier. And the heat shield, just once you swap it over, just push it right down and it goes right in. So right now, let's go to the first startup. Once again, before you start it up, just make sure everything's nice and tight. Well, I already know everything's nice and tight, but just make sure nothing's loose, right? And you really shouldn't have any crazy idle or anything like that because there's no mass airflow sensor on the intakes. Other cars sometimes have mass airflow sensors on the inlet side of the turbo, but this car actually doesn't. But let's go start the car up. Right now, I haven't even started the car. Hopefully, I don't run into any issues. All right, let's go. Check coolant level. Okay, I gotta take a look at the coolant level. Unless I unbolted something. I doubt I unbolted anything. But I'll take a look at that. I probably tapped something or anything like that. But let's take a look. Woo, looking good. Oh, that was open. Right. Looking good. Car's still warming up. All right, let's see. All right, so the car finally went through the cycle system. I probably tapped something for the check coolant level, but I'll take a look at that separately. Let me just click this off. All right, I really can't give it too much guns. I like gun it or anything because the coolant really The oil temps and everything's not warm enough. But let's just hear some noises. I'm actually getting some new noises now. Alright guys, let's turn it off right now. Let's just bring this video to an end. I'm going to give you guys my driving impressions and everything like that. Plus I got to check that coolant level issue, see where that may be coming from. Coolant doesn't look like it's really off or anything like that. So once again, shout out to VRP, working with the Boost in Motion family. Super much. I appreciate them so much. I already told you a story how this happened. I did buy these intakes on my own, but they did send out some of the other parts. Also got some cool merch from them and everything like that, which is super dope. So they have a lot of other parts on their website. Go check it out, VRP Speed, and it looks really dope. They have turbochargers and everything, so maybe we can make something happen in the future. But let's just start with intakes and just see where we go from here. So outside of that, guys, shout out to VRP Speed, appreciate you so much. Shout out to my Boost in Motion family who was following and watch the channel. Check for the next video where I'm going to be doing my review of these intakes. Remember, my car is also secondary cat delete, and I do have a burger tune in JB4, so I don't have a full-fledged tune. So I won't really be able to give you an apples to apples comparison or the dyno or everything to see if the intakes make a difference. But it's been proven in this platform that aftermarket intakes make a hell of a difference because they are the choking point of the platform. So outside of that, guys, we have good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. If you want to contact me at Boost in Motion IG, Facebook, and boostinmotion@gmail.com. Otherwise than that, guys, you already know. We have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. All right, let's close it up. You guys have a good day. Appreciate it. Thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also on top of that, if you want to purchase some Boost in Motion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you.